Welcome students. My name is Miss Karen Lenisha Cabral, Assistant Professor in Botany, St. Joseph Vaz College, Kortalim. In today's lecture is for Bachelor of Science, Botany Semester 3. Paper code BOC 103. Paper title Plant Anatomy and Embryology. Title of the unit Adaptive and Protective Systems. Module name Adaptations in Hydrophytes, the Ecological Adaptations. Module number 29. Outline Characteristics of Hydrophytes, Anatomical features of hydrophytes. Learning outcomes explains the characteristics of hydrophytes, describes the anatomical features of hydrophytes. When we talk of hydrophytes, these are plants which survive in water. Now, in order to survive in water, these plants need to adapt themselves. And how they adapt themselves with the environment, that is called as the ecological adaptations. Now, how are they different from normal plants? So, they show 4 main ecological adaptations. That is, one is water retention, flat leaves, feathery roots, and presence of air sacs. Coming to the first one, that is water retention. Now, in normal plants, the plants that grow in normal conditions need to retain water. So, plants possess the ability to absorb and retain water to keep them alive between watering cycles. But hydrophytes that are submerged in water do not really retain water like non-aquatic plants because they are present in this environment. So, aquatic plants do not use energy to regulate transpiration, that is loss of water, because they are already present in water. So, there is no fear of losing water from the plant itself. Secondly, coming to flat leaves. Some aquatic plants float on the surface of water. Now, most aquatic plants with flat leaves which acts as flotation to the portion of the plant. Now, these leaves help in floating, or else the plant would go deep down. So, that is the reason the plant has adapted itself to have flatter leaves as compared to mesophytes. For example, we have water lily having leaf diameter of around 12 inches. Then coming to the third adaptation, that is feathery roots. Now, hydrophytes are supported by water as compared to roots and stem structure, but that doesn't mean that these plants do not possess roots. They do possess roots, but they are very small and feathery. Now, the function of the root is to take up oxygen from the water. Now, oxygen in the form of dissolved oxygen we are referring to. Now, example we have is Salvinia, which is free floating aquatic fern. Now, if you look into this image, this is Salvinia. It is commonly found in Goa. If you look at the roots of it, they'll have this fine hairy roots. So, this is the best example when we talk of feathery roots. Then the presence of air sacs. Now, presence of air chambers, it helps the plant to float onto the surface of water. Now, this characteristic is usually seen in those hydrophytes which float on the surface of water as compared to those which are submerged in water. Again, it doesn't mean that it is not present in the ones which are submerged, because there are submerged hydrophytes which also float but deep down into that zone. Now, some aquatic plants float slightly submerged in the water, whereas there are some which float right on the surface of the water. So, others float right on the top of the water since their leaf distributes the weight across the surface of water. For example, you have water lily, then we also have Victoria regia. Coming to the anatomical features of hydrophytes. Now, the root and the shoot system is common. It shows a common feature, that is it has a presence of cuticle. But when we talk of hydrophytes, Now the presence of cuticle, it may be completely absent in some, especially in the ones which are submerged, or it will have a presence of very thin layer of cuticle, because the presence of cuticle or this cuticle protects the plant from any loss of water. Now since hydrophytes are already present in the water, they have no fear of losing water as such. Now the epidermis is single layered, which is made up of parenchyma cells, and the walls of these cells are thin. Cortex is well developed and again made up of parenchyma cells. Now, but when we talk of parenchyma cells, we have two types. We have one that is erenchyma, that is, we can distribute one as erenchyma and one as chlorenchyma. We talk of chlorenchyma. Now, chlorenchyma cells will play a role when in those plants which need to carry out photosynthesis. But now these are hydrophytes which are present in water. So they don't really require this type of cells, but they require the other type of cells, that is your erenchyma cells, because these cells are responsible, or they will provide buoyancy to the plant, or it will help the plant to float on the surface. Without the presence of these cells, the plant will sink. And also it helps, these cells will help in exchange of gases, and as I said before, it provides buoyancy to the plant. Coming to the mechanical tissue which are absent to avoid rigidness of stem. Now vascular tissues are poorly developed. When we talk about vascular tissues, we are referring to the xylem and the phloem component, wherein we study in our previous classes, wherein xylem will carry out or help in the transportation of water and minerals, whereas phloem will help in transportation of any photosynthesis. Now, when we talk of xylem, xylem is made up of 4 important elements. That is, we talk of vessels, we talk of tracheids, we talk of xylem parenchyma, and we talk of xylem fibers. Now, these all components are usually found in mesophytes, because they are required, they are highly required over there. But when it comes to hydrophytes, they consist of only tracheids. Now, why only tracheids? Because here, as I mentioned, xylem help in transportation of water and minerals. These plants are already present in water, and they absorb minerals or nutrients from to their roots and other parts of the plant. So they don't really require a very sophisticated xylem system. So instead of having vessels and parenchyma, it can survive on this component alone. In submerged leaves, stomatas are totally absent, because when we talk of stomatas, we are talking more of exchange of gases. If you look at the section, now here we have a transverse section of hydrilla stem. If you look at this section closely, you have epidermis, then the cuticle, then we have this single layered epidermis. If you look at this portion, okay, this is entirely the cortical region. Now usually cortex take up the function of storage. No doubt even here cortex takes up the function of storage, but here you have these cells that are there, these cells are erenchyma cells. Now if you look closely, you have these big spaces. Now these are the air chambers, which this portion is responsible for floating of the hydrophytes. Then if you go deeper, you will see there is xylem over here, which is not so well developed, and if you look at the phloem part of it, they are in tiny bits. In Nymphia, you have special type of star-shaped lignified cells that are present, which gives mechanical support to this hydrophyte. In floating leaves, stomatas are present only on the upper epidermis and not on the lower epidermis. Now when I speak about the star-shaped cells, I am referring to this part. So this component. These are few references. Thank you.